Hi, it's Bruce Linton from the Father's Forum with 1 Minute in Fatherhood, and I'm going to speak a little bit this week about sympathy and empathy and the difference between the two and kind of how they develop for us in men as dads. Sympathy is when we have an experience and we understand it in a sympathetic way. So it reminds you of what it was like for you, and you share with the person something about that. Or maybe you say, oh, I understand that because I know I had something similar happen to me that was like me. That's a sympathetic emotional connection. Empathetic is where we're putting aside what we're feeling and we're just listening to the other person and hearing what it's like for them. And that's empathy. And that's much more difficult to develop, and I think that's what takes place in our interactions and our relationships pretty much over a lifetime. But a quick example so you can understand the difference is, say, for example, losing a job. Somebody tells you they lost their job, it didn't work out, and you had a similar experience. You might say, oh, I understand what you're going through because I went through that when this happened to me. And that may or may not be true for what they're experiencing. An empathetic response would be, wow, what's that like for you? And you don't know. Maybe the person will have an experience similar to yours and say, well, it was tough. I felt really sad. I really didn't want to lose a job. Maybe they'll say, best thing that ever happened to me. I was so glad, it really moved me forward. I'm really glad not to be working there. So thinking about what's the difference between sympathetic and empathetic. Sympathetic, we're listening to our inner experience and sharing it with the person. Empathetic, we're hearing what they're saying and just responding and supporting them in the emotional place they're at. How that affects us as dads, I think, and how we open up to it is when we have children and we begin to see our children's experience when we see them separate from our own, and we connect with, wow, that's how it's feeling for them. So separate from ourselves. So we learn to love and to care about somebody else other than ourselves. That's the birth of empathy. So I hope that's helpful. I wanted to make one small other note too, which is I have a new book out. It's called Fatherhood, The Journey from Man to Dad. And underneath the video there's some links for the ebook which you can purchase, and the paperback will be coming out. It's on Amazon now if you'd like to pre-order. But I think the book also is from the work I've done with fathers over the last 30 years, really kind of shows you a way in which connecting and thinking through some of the experiences you have as a dad will help you develop more empathy in your relationships with the people that you love. Okay, well, this has been a brief video from the Father's Forum. Take care now. See you next week. Bye-bye.